Hello everybody and welcome to Jeff the Pharmacist. It's an honor to have you here. So today I wanted to talk about using Nyquil as a sleep aid. So I did make a video about Zzzquil, kind of discussing kind of other options that people can use if they are inclined to go to Zzzquil, because I think there's a lot of brand loyalty and stuff, and people are under the impression that Zzzquil and Nyquil are related, but they're not. So in my wayward youth, I used to use Nyquil as a sleep aid even when I didn't have, a cough or a cold. Not that it's a bad thing, but I did use Nyquil to sleep. And what I wanted to discuss is, what is it in Nyquil that makes you sleep? So there's actually an antihistamine in Nyquil called doxylamine, which helps you sleep. And there's really only two over-the-counter drugs that help you sleep. So the first one is diphenhydramine, which is a more popular product. It's in Benadryl. So it's an antihistamine. It's really a powerful antihistamine. People often use it if they have allergic reactions to drugs like skin reactions, or people use it to sleep. It's really a powerful drug. It has a lot of effects. It has a lot of side effects. So the older antihistamines have crossed the blood-brain barrier, so they get into your cerebral spinal fluid and they cause drowsiness. They cause all kinds of side effects because of that. Newer antihistamines like Claritin, Allegra, they don't get into your blood-brain, they don't cross your blood-brain barrier, so they don't really cause you to feel super drowsy, tired, and there's also other kind of cholinergic effects with Benadryl or doxylamine. Cholinergic effects refer to effects of the drug by binding onto the acetylcholine receptors. So you can imagine, like, you have a drug that's super targeted for one receptor in your body and it's very effective at doing one thing, but Benadryl kind of attacks a lot of different things. And that's why you have all these kind of effects. Cholinergic effects are like dry eyes, dry mouth, constipation, urinary retention. And these really affect especially older people that often already have dry mouth and things. They might have issues with constipation, especially if they take Benadryl all the time or if they use higher doses, and often older people have problems sleeping, so they might be the ones that are taking these sleep aids. So I find it kind of interesting that Vicks, the people that make the Vicks products, decided to they have the Nyquil product, which has doxylamine, and then the Zzzquil product does not use the same sleep aid, which I find kind of odd. I figured they would just use the same sleep aid, because people that kind of are responding to Nyquil are probably the people that are buying the Zzzquil product. So the actual active ingredient in Nyquil is called doxylamine, and that is in like the light orangish unisom. So there's a blue unisom, and then there's like kind of the light orangish unisom that has, I can't really describe the color. I have difficulty describing what the color is, but it's not the blue one. It's like the light orangish one, and that's the one that has doxylamine in it. So if you're somebody who responds to Nyquil, you might respond to that light orange unisom. So I just find it odd that they decided to not use doxylamine in the product. And really, there's only two drugs over the counter for that are used as sleep aids, really doxylamine and diphenhydramine. There is melatonin, which I won't talk about now, but melatonin I find odd because it's considered a dietary supplement, like vitamins and minerals. It's in that same class of regulation, but it's actually a hormone. It's a powerful hormone in the body. So I find it strange that it's kind of regulated that way, but it is. So some of the downsides, I discussed kind of the cholinergic side effects of these antihistamines like doxylamine and diphenhydramine. But other downsides are, when you take these drugs to sleep, you're gonna find in the morning, and one might affect you more than the other. So it's, it might be diphenhydramine is worse than doxylamine. I think for myself, I found that diphenhydramine is a little bit worse as a sleep aid as far as the hangover effect in the morning. And there's this effect the next morning where you wake up and you're just kind of groggy. And I think that's because the medication hasn't completely worn off, and you have to start your day. So you might find yourself drinking like 6 cups of coffee in the morning just to kind of like almost like get out of your house and start your day. I don't really use things to sleep anymore, use drugs like over-the-counter drugs to sleep anymore, because I found that I've kind of changed my lifestyle a bit to help me sleep. So I think that your ability to sleep is genetic. So there's people that have probably some genetic predisposition to being able to sleep. Like my mother can sleep instantly anywhere. She could sleep all the time if she wanted to. It's like, I'm bored, I'm just gonna fall asleep. And then, my dad, of course, is the opposite. He can never sleep. So I think there's some kind of a genetic predisposition to that. And what's helpful is trying to control for your lifestyle. So there are things that help you sleep. And I think the biggest one that has helped me sleep is exercise. So I made a video about it. I started training for the Ironman, but just running and having your legs a little sore for some reason. It's bizarre, but actually having like a little soreness in your legs just helps you fall asleep. I don't know why. Or just muscle soreness, I think, helps you fall asleep. Maybe it's a trigger for your body to like, oh, he needs more sleep, so we'll let him sleep. But other things that are general sleep hygiene things are limiting your booze, like just kind of not drinking too much. Drinking totally screws up your sleep-wake cycle. So if you drink to fall asleep, you're totally suppressing your REM sleep, and you're going to have diminished sleep quality. And then sometimes people experience a hangover, and often a hangover can cause insomnia because it can jack up your heart rate. It can cause anxiety and stuff. So I wouldn't use alcohol. Definitely minimizing alcohol is just generally a good practice, but it is important as far as sleep goes. Now, if you're one of these people that can sleep no matter what, it probably doesn't matter for you. But I mean, obviously it's good not to drink too much. One thing that also helps is if you're about to go to sleep, like in maybe in the next couple hours, you're trying to kind of calm yourself down, like dimming the lights in the house, not having too many lights on, and just kind of preparing yourself kind of visually for sleep. So there's a visual component of the sleep-wake cues that your body has. So having less light going to your eyes kind of makes you more tired. I think that's why, on a cloudy day, people take more naps and stuff. There's just less light keeping them kind of awake. Another thing is using the bed for sleep purposes, not as like a lounge chair. So people often will read in bed and do all these things in bed. Maybe they'll eat potato chips, smoke cigarettes, I don't know, mark their calendar, do homework, all these things people do in bed. But if you're somebody who has trouble sleeping, really you should be using your bed as a place you sleep, or for sex, of course, but really avoiding using it as an office, as your couch. I mean, I know some people just don't have room. Like when I was in college, I didn't have the only privacy I could probably get was in my room, and I didn't want to go out into the living room sometimes. So I understand that, but if you can avoid it, I wouldn't sit in bed. And the next thing for sleep hygiene is avoiding sleeping in. So I don't want to be like the big party pooper, but if you're waking up at 6 for work and then on the weekends you're sleeping in until 1 or something crazy like that, you're jacked up. There's no way to really fix it if you're somebody that has problems sleeping. So, maybe sleeping till 7 or 8, or if you want to be a champion, get up at 4, or you know what I mean. But definitely sleeping until 1 or 2 is not good when you're if you're concerned about your sleep hygiene. So I hope you all found this interesting. If you are somebody who responds well to Nyquil, check out it's like the light orange Unisom or whatever your store generic is, or ask your pharmacist. They can point you in the direction. A lot of these drugs have side effects and interactions, so definitely check with your pharmacist if you are on different medications and see if it's safe to take, because sleep aids actually do have a lot of concerns with them. Like I said, there's a hangover effect. Older people that take them, sometimes it can cause them to be drowsy in the morning, get up and have a fall, break a hip, and it's downhill from there. So a lot of these little drug things, side effects with drugs have bigger consequences than we really think about. So I hope you all found this interesting. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. It would be an honor to have you as a subscriber. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks a lot.